Suppose this is a dream diary. Just using the AI here to analyze my weird ass dream. This could be fun if anybody else wants to try it. I had a dream I was on the beach looking for crabs, and I kept finding crab shells and crab parts until I found an odd structure made of sand in the surf. It had three holes in it, and it looked dangerous to enter, but I entered it. And it took and it looked I entered it looking for crabs. It quickly filled up with water, dissolved, and I believe I drowned. I'm pretty sure I drowned. Uh, Dreams involving the ocean, structural traps, and drowning often mirror intense internal shifts or feelings of being overwhelmed, while individual meanings vary. Several common themes from dream analysis might resonate with your experience. Symbolism of the search. Hunting for crabs. Searching for crabs can represent looking for hidden truths, spiritual transformation, or personal growth. Finding only shells and parts suggests you are encountering remnants of the past, old defenses, an outdated version of yourself that you've already molted or outgrown. The beach. In dream interpretation, beaches often symbolize the boundary between your conscious mind, the shore, and your vast subconscious, the ocean. Bridging point. Sand, the sand structures and holes. The odd structure entering a strange, dangerous looking structure made of sand suggests you may be consciously exploring unstable or fragile situation in your waking life. Three holes. Numbers in dreams often hold significance. The number three can symbolize a cycle of beginning, middle, and end, or a choice. The dissolving trap. The fact that the structure was made of sand, which dissolves in water, highlights its lack of solid foundation. This may reflect a feeling that a recent decision or environment you've entered is not as secure as it seemed. You get the feeling you're being set up. Drowning in water. Overwhelming emotions. Water filling the space quickly usually represents a surge of emotion that feels out of your control. While frightening, drowning in a dream rarely signifies literal death. Instead, it often represents a symbolic death, the end of the old way of thinking, or a feeling of being swallowed up by a situation. The ocean's power. This can indicate that your subconscious is taking over, pushing you to confront deep-seated feelings you might usually ignore. It's got a little thing here. Common interpretations, elements, possible meanings. Crab shells, discarded defenses of past self. Sand structures, unstable, temporary situation of belief. Entering despite danger, curiosity, or a drive to face your fears even if it feels risky. Dissolving, drowning. Feeling overwhelmed by transition or losing your sense of self in a new environment. Reflecting on whether you've recently felt out of depth or if you're trying to build something on an unstable foundation might help you connect with these symbols to your life. Does this feel like it relates specifically to transition, difficult choice you're currently facing? Yeah. After that dream, I dreamed I woke up in my room, and I believed I had actually woken up. I just laid there in my bed, though. That is a classic false awakening. It is a specific type of dream where you convince yourself you've woken up, usually in your bed, in a perfect replica of your room, only to realize later that you were still under. When these happen back to back with the heavy dream, like the one you had at the beach, it usually points to a few specific things. The safety check. After the intense experience of the sand structure dissolving and the sensation of drowning, your brain is likely triggered a false awakening as a survival mechanism. It's your mind's way of trying to get you back to shore and find safety in a familiar environment, your bedroom, because the previous dream felt too real and threatening. Physical transition. False awakenings often happen when you are in a light stage of REM sleep, but your body is starting to notice physical sensations. The sand water your brain might have been processing your actual bed sheets of the weight of your blankets. The drowning. This can sometimes be a brain to body mismatch where your breathing slows down deeply and your mind interprets it as being underwater. The role of the cat. Your cat jumping on you was the reality bridge. Real world sensory input. The weight and sudden movement of the cat is often the only thing strong enough to break the loop. Oh yeah, my cat jumped on me and I woke up. To break the loop of false awakening. Without the cat, you might have had a fourth wake up inside the dream. Psychological integration, since your first dream was about searching for parts of yourself, the crab, and then dissolving, waking up in the room signifies a return to your core identity. It's like your subconscious went to a dangerous deep dive and then rushed back to the most solid place it knows. Yeah, this is just a dream diary. I guess this is kind of a really short dream diary, so I'm just going to go ahead and do the courage thing, because I was going to do a video on courage anyways. It didn't occur to me what courage feels like. Yeah. You see, I mistook courage for this feeling one time where I got into a fight with a kid in Ackworth in the projects, and I suddenly knew I could beat his ass. And I beat his ass. Yeah. And I mistook that feeling for courage, that certainty, for courage, because I believe that's what courage was. That's not what courage is. You see, I was talking with my ego, and I began questioning it about what courage is. And it rolled me back to the time I was in Ackworth on Red Top Mountain, and I walked into the woods, and it was completely dark. And I just felt out of place. I guess uncomfortable. The second time was Stu holding me up in the bathroom with a gun. Threatening to kill me. Yeah. Yeah. And when he told me you're coming with me, and I told him no, I refused to go with him. And, you know, I think I talked about that in the Anal Eating Mummy God story, where I said every fiber in your being is telling you to, like, not to resist, like, and then it rolled me even further back, to a fight I was having with my brother. I was really young at the time. My brother was just being a dick. And I got scared. I don't know exactly why that one was relevant, because I kind of backed down on that one. And then lastly was, I was staying at my friend Lenny Carrillo's house. She's a Cuban. And my sister Lenny and I all snuck into the kitchen to steal some sugar cubes. And we ate some sugar cubes, and then we went to bed. And then I woke up when everybody was asleep. I was alone. It was dark. It was a stranger's house in unfamiliar territory. We're in unfamiliar territory, brother. And I wanted some sugar cubes. So I took it upon myself to give myself this mission to go get a sugar cube. So I snuck through her entire house, which actually isn't that big. But when you're a kid, a lot of things seem bigger than what they are. I still remember when you had to reach up to to grab a doorknob. That's how far back my memory goes when I was a kid. Uh, but I scrambled across the living room, crawling on my belly. Got all the way into the kitchen, opened up the little jar, and got a sugar cube, and put it back. And the entire time I was getting that sugar cube, one, I felt like I was doing something wrong. I felt like I was doing something I wasn't supposed to. I felt uncomfortable. And I was absolutely terrified. Yeah, I was like 5, maybe 4 years old. And I was absolutely terrified when I was grabbing that sugar cube. And then my super ego said, that's what courage feels like. It feels uncomfortable and fucking terrifying. Like, courage and fear, arguably, according to my superego, are the same thing. And I guess that means courage isn't a feeling. It's a verb. I guess it's just what you do. I guess. I'm not sure how to process this information. Nobody ever explained to me what courage is. And honestly, every interpretation you see of courage is somebody's terrified and they're doing something, but there's no... You know, they talk about how in books you can really describe and give somebody the vibes of something, like the real feeling of something. You kind of lose that in media. You kind of don't get the vibes in media. That's one thing, like, I guess movies and video games just can't really produce. This is kind of a lot for me to process. Yeah. I don't know.